It's the cry of generation. It's a stirring in our soul. It's dreams still in focus. It's hope still whole. For children that are and those who will be, our destiny is justice for once, for all, forever. Let it be. No more delays, denials can ignore our voices, nor suppress our choices. We come for all that God has gave, unashamed descendants of the indigenous immigrants and the once enslaved. For children that are and all those who will be, our destiny is justice for once, for all, forever. Let it be. Liberation when we read, love when we lead, moving at the speed of student needs, pushing against the abundance of oppressive greed. For children that are and all those who will be, our destiny is justice for once, for all, forever. Let it be. All right, guys, we are here on the Justice Cast Season 2, and it could not kick off better than with our guest here today. She is the councilperson, councilwoman of District 8. District 8. Look, things have changed so fast,
no,
right?
I get it.
District 8, right? District 8 in the best part of town.
That's right.
Montbello. We appreciate that, and she is Councilwoman Shontel Lewis. So thank you for being here on the Justice Cast. Will you tell folks a little bit about you, those who may not know you, which is hard to imagine, right? You've been around here, you know Councilwoman Lewis. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll jump in and talk about some justice stuff.
I'll make it quick. I am one of 6 kids, one of 3 black councilwomen on council. 6 kids. Pause there. I did not know that. Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Okay.
I'm third.
Okay.
So I was in charge because the first 2 were irresponsible, so I had to take.
By default.
Listen.
Okay, it happens.
So that makes sense as to why I am how I am.
Yes, most definitely.
I'm one
it
of 3.
all makes sense now. Okay.
One of 3 council women that have ever been on council that are black women.
Yeah.
One of 3 in the city's history, which
Who's
is
the other ones?
embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
The Honorable Happy Haynes and the Honorable Elbra Wedgeworth. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Great, all great folks, and you follow in their footsteps somewhere. So 1 of 6, 1 of 3.
Yes.
All these numbers.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like numbers.
Yeah.
I grew up on the east side. I grew up in 5 Points. Went to Manual High School.
Wait, where'd you go to school?
Manual
High School.
T-Boat.
She could probably sing the theme song if she needs to.
If I had to, I would.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am serve on Denver City Council currently, but previous to that, I served on the board for the Regional Transportation District, which is one of 3 publicly elected boards in the country. So the agency that deals with your buses and trains. So I had a really good time on that.
You just had a big event happen in your family, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened?
My son graduated from college.
Graduated from college.
Yes.
I saw the pictures, and I know how much you love him.
I do.
And I know everything that journey's been.
It's been.
And I think I definitely will admit that I saw the picture, I cried.
Yeah.
Just because I knew how
I
much it meant to you.
Yeah. It was big. So, I had Diego when I was still at Manual High School, 16, with his father until he passed in a car accident unexpectedly. And so it was a big deal to see him walk across that
Where did
stage.
you go to college?
He went to college at the University of Arizona in Tucson,
Yeah.
double major in dance and business. And he'll be heading off to Chicago for dance. He was able to get hired on with the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That's even
great.
bigger. That's even bigger. Out of your pockets. That's so you think.
Well, you're right,
they
actually.
Will still
Yeah. I have a flight I need to book for him right now, actually.
That's great. That's great. So congratulations, because I
you.
know what a journey that has been. We work with a lot of young people at Flow Crit across the city, young women, young parents.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just think oh my God, you have a kid young, your life's over.
Yeah.
And I say, I know too many people
That's right.
where that's not the case. You know. And my daughter, who's a sophomore, she became a young mom, and she just graduated on Thursday.
Congratulations.
And so it's been just celebrations after celebrations for us. So
it's not the end of life; it's the beginning.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the beginning. So you're on city council.
I am.
How did that happen?
Well, listen. I wonder that every day.
Yeah.
So I gave 4 years of service to the Regional Transportation District, and I had a lot of great success really working with community to figure out how do we bring folks from the bus stops to the boardrooms, and people felt connected. They saw change systemically at RTD from my representation, and I decided I had had enough, and there were a bunch of folks that said, you should come with us on city council. And I was like, I'm good. Politics is for you, not for me. And I got asked quite a bit, and eventually I was bullied. I like to call it an intervention.
No, it's an intervention. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're doing great work.
Thank you so much.
And so that's why it's great to talk to you about this. I want to start out with this quote because I want to hear what you think. So,
I love a quote. Okay.
Yeah, our partners, we do some partners with Murmuration. Murmuration put out this book. This was just a year ago, and this was I'll get you a copy of it because I think you would love it.
Okay, thank you.
It's Barriers to Civic Engagement Among Gen Z.
Well, listen up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
He says, honestly, this is a young man. He's a black young man, college educated. He says, honestly, we are putting too much trust in government. It's very hard to reach elected officials. I do think sometimes they forget that they are public servants and not celebrities.
Listen.
They haven't done anything for our parents' parents, and even locally, it's hard to reach even your city council person.
Listen.
Right? How do you respond to that?
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't. I know. I do not.
Okay.
I don't disagree in the least bit. I'll give you two perspectives. During my time on the RTD board, because I was so engaged in community, that's how you know me, right? From community is people knew how to access me easily. I wasn't a politician. I was just Shontel, you know? So we call Shontel if you needed anything. And also the constituents in other districts would reach out to me because their representatives weren't responsive. Yeah, so I was not only solving the issues in my district, I was also solving the issues in other districts. And
Why? Tell me, what about you makes you opposite of what that young man's saying?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like that's necessary? When we talk about justice, to me, justice is representation, access to that representation.
Yeah.
So why do you practice that? And how do other folks get away with not practicing that?
Real. A few things. I'm a black woman. I can't get away with a lot of stuff that other folks might be able to.
True.
Start there.
True.
But in all honesty, I just hold myself to a different standard, and I take the responsibility to community for putting me in this seat just not lightly. Like I see me being in this seat as a responsibility back to community, and I trust that if I start to slack off, that community is going to hold me accountable in that love, in that grace, but also in that confidence that they gave me when they said, we're going to give you money, we're going to knock doors, we are going to show up for you. That's no easy feat. Our communities are busy, they're fatigued, they're parents, they're working, they're trying to take care of their families and put food on the table, and I'm asking you for $5 for a campaign, or I'm asking you for 5 hours to knock doors, and you do it, and then I get in that seat and don't show up. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
Where did you learn that though? Because think about your life formation. That's because everybody doesn't do it. So evidently there was either some justice warriors that poured into you. There was a life experience that said, hey, Shontel, when you get into these positions of representation, you need to operate this way. Yeah. What formed you? What was the formational things that happened in your life?
Yeah. Oh, so I would probably say formatively, Manual High School.
Yeah.
Manual is just, it's where the light is. It's where the love is. And we were in a container, if you will, where we had the opportunity to experiment in terms of our own leadership, advocacy, and organizing. Yeah. And so I've been an activist, if you will, since I was in high school because we were able to identify injustice and then figure out what to do to solve that injustice. So we were a part of walkouts and protests and go into other school districts like Cherry Creek to say, wait, y'all have all of these classes and we don't have access to these classes? Like, this is inequitable, and we were able to do something. It's actually where the birth of Project Voice came from. So I'm one of the 4 founding members of Project Voice, and it was directly from youth being like, yo, we wanted to have a voice in education. And so folks have poured and sown into me that you not only have
You're
a voice.
You're making me feel older.
Because it's you.
I totally felt that right there. She's like, I want to found the project. I was like, ooh, God, I was hoping them to start. So thanks, Shontel. Appreciate that. But I think back to that, Project Voice is exactly what you said. It started with youth voice saying, we don't have to just sit and watch.
Yeah.
Right.
We can get in the game. We can tussle,
yeah.
And we're happy to.
Yeah.
And I love it. And as we're talking about different generations, now I'm looking back at your generation, right? This generation, and they tussle. Yes. I love them.
Yeah, right.
They get in the ring. They get dirty.
Yeah.
They're not accepting this. they're not accepting from their politicians what maybe you or our generation, not you or I, because we don't play that, but our generation collectively have accepted. They're not. They're holding their feet to the fire. I remember going to one of Diego's, my son Diego, to one of his performances, and one of the young women said, "If I die in a school shooting," this is in high school, "if I die in a school shooting, lay my body at the steps of the Capitol." And I was like, whew. And essentially she was saying, if y'all aren't going to figure out how to take care of this, like, we'll figure out how to take care of it ourselves. And I think they're coming for the seats of electeds, and they should be.
And they should. And they should.
And mine too.
Right. And so that's
I'm tired mostly.
Yeah, no, you just getting started. That's a good segue to justice in the arena that you serve in. So we know city's dealing with some budget stuff. At the time of this recording, city's dealing with some budget stuff. There's been some great things on city council that I think you guys have done. I'll let you brag about some of that. But in the arena of city council, in your work with the mayor, where are we seeing justice happen? And where are we still struggling to see justice happen?
I would say overall in city budgets is where you're seeing both the presence and the absence of justice, but I would say the majority is the absence of justice in the overall city budget. So oftentimes politicians, elected officials will say, budgets are moral documents, and then you go and look at the percentages in terms of the pie and how the dollars are being allocated and spent, and you'll look at safety budgets, for example, and you're like, okay, 36% of the budget goes to safety. What percentage of that goes to youth interventions? What percentage of that goes into housing? What percentage of that goes into transportation? And then you start looking at the whole pie and you're like, okay, what's our morality? What is that saying about our morality? And so I think that's the absence of justice, is that we are so committed to doing things the way that we've always done them that we're going to continue to get the same outcomes that we've always gotten. And the folks who have been harmed by those outcomes, Black, brown, indigenous, poor folks, like vulnerable folks, folks that don't have access, folks that are working multiple jobs. When we talk about the budget now, I'd like to say optimistic, but I'm not. But I'm going to be fighting because I'm not optimistic. That I know that the programs that they cut are the ones that are most impactful in terms of solutions in our communities. You know?
We work with, so we do some young youth violence prevention. I don't like to say youth violence prevention. I like to say youth at promise. Because I don't assume that Black and brown children are violent.
They're not.
But I do assume that Black and brown children have promise. And so I like to get ahead of it and
Every
say,
single one of them.
Let's invest in the promise. And we're not talking about the violence prevention. So I look at that, to your point about the moral document of the city's budget. We have some rec centers. We have a lot of city assets. How are we using those assets to ensure that our young people have the supports that they need? Not just, we got schools, we know that. I'm going to talk to you about DPS here in a second. But how is the city, from the city council perspective, ensuring that these assets, we want to be a great city. How are we ensuring that to be a great city, we are using everything that we have to ensure the best things for young people?
I'm going to answer it in 3 ways, but I'm going to get to the point, I promise.
I got you.
Pastor Peters taught me that. So the first one is the absence. The first one is, you might recall when this current administration was looking at budget deficits, and one of the first things that they did said, we're going to get rid of the flowers, and we're also going to reduce the recreation center hours. And I made a tiff about that, because that's where people gather. Like, you can't say I'm going to reduce the protective factors, recreation centers, libraries, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think the question is that going to still be the approach, right? Like, as we are talking about that, I think we are second, I think we're underutilizing our recreation centers. Like, that could be such a beautiful, and libraries, a beautiful hub for our youth and our elders to come together, right? To have classes, to have art, to have the sharing of stories, to have the sharing of hobbies, right? Someone who might want to teach someone how to sew, and that's a lost art if you think about it. And so I think we're underutilizing that, and we're not thinking in terms of our creativity, right? Like, how do we think past the confines of what we have seen and think about the things that we're able to create? Like, how do we stay in our innovation and our creativity? And we don't. You know, we're so often just like move, go, and instead of stop. Let's ask the youth what they need. Let's ask the elders
Right.
what they need. And then like, let's bring everyone together,
Right.
have that discussion, and design a city that actually represents and looks like, feels like, smells like care. But I wouldn't say that we have a city that looks like, feels like, smells like care. That's my personal opinion.
Shontel Lewis for mayor. But to that point, like even in the naming convention of a rec center, right?
Mhm.
We're thinking recreation. We're thinking what if we transform this to community centers,
Yes.
right? And it really becomes what you said, these living spaces
Yes.
where generations come together,
Yeah.
nonprofit partners who are paying arm and a leg for spaces that,
Let's be efficient.
yeah, let's be efficient and bring these things together to say, hey, we want to be the best city for young people,
Yeah.
then let's do it.
Yes, and there are models.
Yes.
Right? We may not have models here, but there are models in which we can do that. And the
But
folks
we
who
got
have
brilliance
actually,
here.
that's what I was
We got
going to
brilliance
say.
here, yeah.
That the folks who have already started to model those in a small way on their own, in absence of the government invested in those innovations, nonprofits, community leaders, churches, right?
Yeah.
Like they have figured out how to utilize spaces for multiple purposes and bring different issues and different resolutions into the same building because they understand how busy their communities are. But
Yeah.
when you are so far removed from communities and experiences, the outcomes and the things that you create and design are a direct reflection of that.
What's the biggest fight right now for you?
Budget.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Budget.
And you feel I heard optimism, right? I
Gotta stay in the hope.
You stay in the hope. Stay in the hope.
Somebody told me that.
Yes. I appreciate that. I mean, because I think with your optimism, the rest of us stay optimistic
That's
about
right.
what can be.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that it won't be a fight.
Exactly.
You-
And I think
hope
that's
of
what
truths.
we have to definitely know that hope doesn't mean be lazy.
That's right.
You're right.
That's right.
You got to get up and fight for that thing.
And don't think I can fight by myself.
Right.
I'm one person.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder for me, like I stand as one in those rooms, but when I know that y'all are behind me, then I stand as 10,000,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But y'all have to show up as well to
Yes.
say, when we're talking about the bond, for example.
Yeah.
Right now, we are in a tough fight to make sure, to your point around recreation centers, that East Colfax gets a recreation center, a library, that Montbello gets the projects that they have. We have a number of projects in Montbello,
Right.
a number of projects in Park Hill. And you know what they're telling us? The same thing that they told us previously, like, well, we can invest in this one thing, but if we invest in this one thing, then we aren't going to be able to spread it out. Y'all might have worked with the last council
It's not
person.
gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
That's not gonna fly.
That's not gonna fly.
And I'm gonna have the community making sure we're showing up because historically we've only gotten 12% of the bond
Yeah.
over 2 years,
Yeah.
or over 2 bond
Two
cycles.
bonds, yeah.
That's 10 years,
Yeah.
and we've gotten 12%.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work. Education. Went to Emmanuel High School.
Yep. Votes.
You see the
Yep.
current outcomes that we're seeing in our city. I'm gonna read this.
Okay.
Another great data point, and you should probably get this. The
Okay.
kids count from the Children's Campaign,
Okay.
and on page 88 of the Children's Campaign, the data says this is so you got Colorado data and then you have Denver data.
Mhm.
In Denver, there are 90,471 students. Okay.
Okay.
Of those students, we're about 63% free and reduced lunch. So,
Okay.
but this is the thing that is, concerning, is students not meeting proficiency in English language arts
Mhm.
is 59%. Not meeting. Students not meeting expectations in math, 68.8%.
Damn.
Right? But now you look at that and you say this is not meeting that, but then this number of on-time graduation rate is nearly 80%. So how are we so low with kids who are proficiency, but then our graduation rate is 80%? Something doesn't sound, as they say, the math ain't math.
Math ain't math.
If we got all these kids walking across the stage, but then our data is saying they're not proficient, what are we doing? Are we ensuring the kids are getting the education that they need?
No, because I think we have a fundamental belief that the children are not the future. And I think we treat that as such. I remember during my time at DPS, I'll give you 2 stats. One that speaks to the past and one that speaks
Time
to
at
the
DPS,
future.
I forgot that part.
Man, I'm still healing. I try to forget that part.
Stop bringing that trauma.
I'll give you 2 stats. The first one was that Black students without white students without disabilities were outperforming black students. Or white students with disabilities were outperforming black students without disabilities. That is so salient to me, and that will never not be in my mind. In addition to that, I just looked at a report that came from our Civil Service Commission, which provides the hiring of our our fire department and our police officers, and essentially said, on average, nationally and here in Denver, folks are reading and writing at a 10th grade reading and math at a 10th grade level. Those are your officers that are on the street. So when you tell me that we have low proof,
the people that we hire to do a critical job, and as you said, maybe 36% of the budget,
do you hear me?
we've only educated them to a 10th grade level.
10th grade. 10th reading.
But I thought we gave them a diploma that said they were job ready.
You sure did. And you gave them a job too. Or we did at the city. Yeah. And then we're surprised by the outcomes. Right? Like it's all connected. And so at some point,
so what do we do, champion?
So here's the first step. I think at some point we just have to, in order to atone, you have to be honest. And I think we're just not honest. It's in the same way that we're not honest about the remnants of chattel slavery in this country, and how that ties to policing in this country, and how that ties to how you had state-sanctioned violence in this country, and how those outcomes led to the housing outcomes that we're seeing, and how property taxes are tied to education.
Hey, pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. None of that happened.
That's right.
We have erased that.
That's right.
No
Never
more
happened.
DEI, no more of that.
We're good.
Talking about didn't happen.
We're good. So as long as none of that happened, none of what we could actually happen, right?
Yeah.
The world in which we could see, the world in which we could live in, will never come to be. Because you can't atone for something in which you won't admit.
And she just dropped the mic right there. And I think that's what we're dealing with in education, is that we cannot atone for something that we will not be honest about, that we won't admit.
That's right.
If you was in church, they said, if you won't confess the sin, you can't forgive the sin.
That's right.
Right? And I think that's what we're dealing with. And we're seeing that, and that data point that I gave you, to your point, that says that's overall. 59% not producing in language arts, 68% not producing math. But those numbers, you get into what black students are doing and what brown students are doing, those numbers in some instances are pushing 70 and 80% of kids not being proficient.
Unacceptable.
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 How can we be a great city and we can't educate our children?
You can't. And that's why you import your talent. Right? Like that's what, and then we're all surprised when neighborhoods are gentrified.
Right.
Because you're importing your talent and you're not invested in your local talent.
So I just heard a justice solution. If you want to end gentrification, educate your children.
Educate your children. And also we have a fund with the Prosperity Denver Fund. They don't do enough. No district, this is not a critique, this is opportunity to excel.
Right.
I
like that.
We could give full ride $20,000 scholarships so folks aren't graduating in debt. It's easy to think about that from a math perspective, that if I graduate with $70,000 worth of debt, you graduate with zero debt, you can put that money back into the economy. You can buy a house, right? You are paying rent, you might go get some new shoes, like this.
Right, you gotta do that.
It's a simple math problem.
Right.
But if we ain't teaching math, then maybe it ain't a simple math.
It's not as simple as that. But I think that's justice. I mean, that's what you're talking about. It's like, we can't keep talking justice.
That's right.
Justice is something that's gotta be lived out.
That's exactly right.
And you're doing that on the council.
Every single day.
And you don't have to, I know you guys gotta get along, so I don't wanna make you call out the other 12 people on the council. But I do want to ask you, who are the justice warriors in your life that continue to pour into you?
Yeah.
That keep you going? I want to also shout you out for self-care.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes when I feel guilty about not going to the gym, I'll be on Instagram or something, I'll see your socials and you're doing some kind of workout,
I gotta show you mine today.
Right, and then I'm like, man, now I gotta go to the gym. Shontel convicted me, right? But who is pouring into you?
Yeah.
That keeps you going?
Yeah.
What book are you reading? Whatever. Who do you want to shout out
Beautiful.
for keeping you going?
Man, I'm not going to shout anyone out by name, but I'm just going to shout out the behaviors, because I think it's important for folks to be able to recognize behaviors that pour into you. So it's the people who I call and say, my house is a mess, and they show up and they come help me clean.
Give me their number.
I got you. I got you. It's the ones who have said, I haven't had time to cook a meal, and they invite me to dinner at their house, right? It's the friends who says, hey, do you want to go to a museum? Do you want to go to a park? I love to swing. Okay. So a friend who calls me and says, you want to go swing, knows like, okay, I see you, right? I see you. I have so many people who also pour into me verbally, right? Orally, people who say, hey, have you seen this from Octavia Butler? Okay. Have you read that recently? This reminded me of you. Those are the folks who are like pouring into me in my life, who are covering me, who are protecting me, who are praying for me, right? Who show up on my first day of council and say, don't worry about the senior luncheon, I'll take care of it and write you a check.
Those are good people.
Those are good people.
Yeah. People that love you.
Actions, behaviors. I can always cite the behavior of love. And it's a lot easier to identify. And I say that as a person who had to discover what love was, because we learn it from our communities and from our families, and it's not always healthy. And we oftentimes can misidentify what love is. And so I figured how to say the behavior versus the word, because then you begin to associate positive behaviors with love.
Cornell West said it. He says, "What justice is what love looks like lived out."
That's right.
And that's powerful. That's exactly what. That's very powerful. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Now, we give you this chance to wrap up, but if you look at the next 5 years, now I didn't ask if you're going to stay on council. I'm not going to push any political questions, but the next 5 years in our city, let's say the next 10 years. 10 years from now, we will be a more just city. And I don't like to say more just, because that also makes the assumption that we are just, right? We will be a city where justice is the norm, because what?
We will be a city when justice is the norm, because we invest in our students, we invest in our communities, not in the infrastructure. We invest in the people, because we believe in the capacity of the people.
Justice is invested in the people.
That's right.
And I think that we need more leaders like that who understand, hey, I am elected by the people.
That's right.
For the people.
And
just like this quote said, it's like, look, don't be that council person.
Don't get comfortable.
Right, don't get comfortable to where, you're there and you can't be reached.
That's right. Make them uncomfortable also when they get comfortable like that.
Right. Show up at the office, right?
That's right. Hello.
All council office listed on their websites. That's what I'm going to do, a council office tour. See who's actually there.
Yeah,
you're there.
Yes, I do. On Thursdays and Fridays. I'm doing it on Mondays.
We're going to do senior luncheon again?
Yes, absolutely.
This year, very excited about partnering with you on that.
Thank you so much. And I love and appreciate you for real.
Yeah, we thank you, appreciate you. Keep doing the great work you're doing. And
thank you.
We'll keep pushing with you. Thank you for also saluting our young people who came and testified.
Absolutely.
At public comment.
I was proud of them.
Yeah,
I was like a proud mom.
Yeah, you were. I told them, I said, look, y'all got the text message. Y'all got the tough OG councilwoman up there. Texting me talking about, these babies got me in tears. I said, she's a teddy bear up there.
I really am.
Yeah.
But I'm a gangster when I have to say
Don't tell nobody. Yeah, I won't tell nobody. Keep it our secret. We'll cut that part.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Of course. I love you.
Yeah, love you.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for joining us this week on the Justice Cast. If you are moved and inspired by what you heard this week, we need you to do justice by doing 3 things. Number 1, like and share this episode with your friends and family and network. Number 2, sign and share the Do Justice Pledge. And 3, join us for an upcoming Do Justice action. You can find those listed on our website at www.faithbridgeco.org. That's www.faithbridgeco.org. Remember, the world we believe for is possible. Do justice.